Good afternoon, good evening, good morning to everyone here. And welcome to another exploration of consciousness with the Earth Nouveau Hub. And we have a very inspired topic today, inspired by the lovely Byron Elliott, or Elliott Byron. I still don't remember now what his first name is.
Byron.
Byron, okay.
Byron.
So when I saw this today, we weren't really sure what to bring on. And when I saw his drawing, I thought, oh, this is very cute. Let's work with that. And he said he might come on, but it is 2 a.m. in Australia. So let's not bank on it. So what I would like to do is, if I can, I want to share the picture first, because this can go, we obviously don't know exactly what he wants to do with that, but he has transcribed the dream technology session that we did in April and came up with his drawing. And I don't know if you've seen it in the Earth Nouveau Hub or not. So if I can, let me just see if I can share this here. Multiple can share. Cool. Can you see that?
We can.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, so that is his drawing. And I think we can play with that a little bit. Let's actually tune into this. And he said 2 or 3 things what he would like to look at. One was, I've written it down. One was to illustrate the process of dreaming, how it connects with the North and the South Pole, the ancestors. He mentioned the spiritual cord of equity, how the first spiritual cord of equity gets access. So that's something we can play with a little bit. If you remind yourself of the transcript Lana was doing the other day, and then colors of time and all of that. But let's just do, just for fun here, let's tune into that drawing of Byron's drawing, and then see what comes up with, what questions are coming up with that, because it's dream time, yes, but it's also connecting to the womb planning. It's also connecting to the ancestors, to the North and the South Pole. And then we've got the big I am in the middle there. So there's also the finite and the infinite. We can look at what is duality, what is singularity. We can really play with that. But as we're tuning into that, what comes up? Can we pick up Byron's thoughts or questions?
To me, it looks like, well, a sideways eye for one thing, and like this focus, kind of an idea of compression. That's all I get. But you're in the now, and it's like a compression. Everything else is like dilated. That's all I got.
So when you say compression, what do you mean compression?
I mean, I'm the infinite I am, and if I look sideways, I'm in the center of the eye, right?
Mm-hmm.
And aside from that, it's like I've got this, the Dreamtime societies up and down. It's like this infinite thing that goes kind of like, yeah, I have no word for that in English, but and it's essentially they just like go into this, not a filter, but what you used to cook to put liquids into a bottle.
Mm-hmm.
And then they go through this I am moment, which is where I'm looking at right now, and then going out.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have much definition for
as you say compression, when I first looked at it, I had a compression sense as well, almost like that little I am here was too little for me. I would have turned it round and said, this is me, this is the I am now, the big I am, and what's connecting to it. So this is interesting. Okay, and anyone else?
Sorry.
Yeah.
Oh.
To add to what Carolyn and you just said, Martina, when I first looked at this, I saw like a multiple of things. One of the things I saw was like numbers 3, 6, 9, 0. I also saw like I had mentioned before, that very first sound, om, going out, and then that feminine desire, and then the male intent bringing forth the new life. So I saw it as oh crap, I got to plug in again. I saw it as the beginning and the end, because it's the omega and the alpha. Okay, I got battery.
Okay, so what is the 3690? Where does that, how do you see?
Okay, if you're standing and you're watching something, do you ever find yourself swaying from side to side?
Yes.
Okay, so you're kind of like doing a figure 8, okay? And you can, in numerology, you can do the 3, the 6, the 9, the 0. There's a pattern to it, and it's part of the motion. So when I looked at it, I also saw that too. So I kind of saw a multi-layer of things, and it almost reminds me of like the swastika, which is a very, very ancient symbol, but which is the moving of the energy or the joining of the negative and the female, or the male and the male, you know. So I saw a lot of things here, really, a lot of things.
Interesting.
Anyway.
Thank you, Robin. Anyone else? What's the first thing that comes to mind when you look at that? Tuning into it. Also, what sticks out? Which of the words do stick out where you actually feel almost invited to say something right now? Allow yourself that too. Just trying to find an angle to start off with. I don't want to preempt anything here. Just see what comes up for people.
What it comes to me when I see this drawing, it's like the dream time. You feel like a spiraling in, because what I notice in lucid dream, when I get out of my body, is all I spiraling. And I feel like I spiral, go inside the I am.
Mm-hmm.
And another one out, then it would be kind of like a chakra where you have those two vortices, one in front and one in the back.
Mm-hmm.
But then the I am, I don't know if it's what he means there, but the I am, infinite I am womb space would be like the inner earth. What is that?
Infinite I am womb space, I would say, and again, we're just speculating, which is kind of fun actually, because we are looking at it from a different perspective. I personally would see the whole drawing as the Earth's dreaming society, all the way from the I am here now, from the present into the past generations, and then the future generations. So for me, the whole thing is that the Earth streaming time. And then since it's got the little man in there, that person here, that would probably be the infinite womb planning, you know, the pre-birth planning, and then being in the womb space where we still have complete access to that pre-planned womb plan. And then we have, he says, I am incarnate within duality. So the infinite I am womb space would probably show the singularity that is connected to the past 7 generations and the 7 future generations. And then outside of that would be the I am incarnate within the duality. So the I am apex within the duality now. So outside of the dream space.
Me, Martina, I think, like you said, the whole thing is Earth streaming mind, isn't it? The whole thing there, because Earth is streaming us.
Exactly, because we've got it all. The North Pole is basically, when you look at North Pole and South Pole, you're stepping into the dreaming mind of the Earth. You know, I think that's what we were saying the other day, where so you can take your car and you drive up to the North Pole and you connect to all your ancestors in the past generations in the North Pole, and you connect to all your future generations, where you can start planning with other future I ams, with other future and go into that womb planning, preparing for other lifetimes. Okay. What else? So whatever, and also
Martina. Yeah.
yeah.
So what I saw, sorry. Okay. What I saw actually, when I'm looking at it, I actually saw when he wrote I am, I actually see birth. I see like the vagina.
Oh,
and
yes.
then the I am coming out of it, and then kind of expanding into the dream world.
Nice.
Through the veil.
The veil of forgetting. Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Lovely. Oh, nice. Yeah, that's well spotted there.
Yeah. Really good one.
Nice.
But that's all I got, because I don't like understand some of the dream stuff yet. Like I'm not even the societies and the energy harvesting and all that. So
But that's a remarkable tie-in, because you know, to look at it as a birth, you know, that's amazing, because right now we're remembering and we're reawakening to who our I am presence is, and that we are connected to the 7 generations forward and backwards. So that's a real great insight.
yeah.
I see Alan's got his hand up. I've just, since I have the sharing here, I don't see anyone else have the hand up, but Alan, I can see you, and then I might just take away that drawing. Alan, what do you want? It's up to you.
I'm looking at the diagram, and somehow I just feel I wish it was in a spider web, in a web of creation. When I think about Andrew's advanced dream clearing, he speaks about the individual I am stream. He speaks about the stream that we share with the ancestors, the 7 past and the 7 future generations. He also speaks about the stream that we share with the family. I just find those links to be not so present in the diagram here. If it was a web of creation, we could have that hub of interconnectivity where the I am is then connecting to many different streams, including other people, the animals. I mean, I'm just limited by the diagram there. I just wanted to draw your attention to that.
Well, absolutely. That was his invitation. Who read the message in the hub? His invitation was, look, this came up for me, and how can we play with it? How can we expand it? So thanks for that, Alan. That's definitely something. And he was even looking at that. You know, he was even saying, I think in his message, I haven't got it here now, but something like, you know, how to connect to all those, you know, ancestors and obviously to the various societies that you've just mentioned. Okay, so let's just sit with that. Let's just bring up whatever comes up, and then we take it from there. So Tanya's got her hand up.
Hi. I've been working with this. It's funny, I look at this drawing and I see this energy that I've been working with a lot, which is the toroidal field, the Earth's toroidal field and the human toroidal field, right? That energy of the center, right? And the North Pole is here and the South Pole is below, right? In our Earth Star chakra. And to me, that infinite womb space is the heart space, right? Which is like the portal for the spirit. So I feel that energy, that flow. Yeah.
Fantastic, thank you. So you said something interesting. I haven't heard before. So South Pole is the Earth Star chakra.
Yeah. So I do, you know, energy healing work, Reiki, and crystal therapy, and my specialty is clearing and alignment. And what I see is when someone's like clicked into their specific energy field, right? They have their soul star chakra about a foot above the head and the earth star chakra about a foot below their feet. And that earth star chakra to me looks like almost like a docking station, right, that can click in when it's open to Mother Earth. And so the energy that I've been working a lot with in my, personal journey is overlaying or blending that energy of my blueprint, right, and clicking in to the Earth, right? So that soul star energy is the North Pole and the Earth star energy is the South Pole. And that channel, right? And so looking at that drawing, it's like, oh, that looks familiar to me.
Oh, fabulous. And Tanya, you obviously you're familiar with Andrew's work, huh?
Yes, absolutely. And that's how I found you.
That's how you
So
found
thank you. I really have enjoyed your conversations.
Oh, fantastic. Well, good to have you here. I don't think we have seen
Thank you.
before. Fantastic. Now, there's one thing I want to say here now. You mentioned the heart chakra, so let's expand on that a little bit. And you guys will remember he talks about the vagus nerve, right? That goes from the motor cortex all the way down, expands out into the organs, all the way down into the clitoris and stuff. Now, the vagus nerve, I see this as the vagus nerve going all the way down here, connecting obviously to the I am here. And then all the way up, because it connects all the way, it's that super highway all the way up to the North Pole and down to the South Pole. So when we have our vagus nerve, when the I am is perfectly driving, on that super highway of the mind, body, and gut alignment, the programs are all shut out and you're perfectly aligned to the North Pole, to the South Pole, and you are perfectly aligned to work within the duality here. But at the same time, you're perfectly aligned to work in the singularity, in the dream space. Having said that, we can now, look at one of the questions, well, we obviously talked about that before, but talking about dreaming, what happens when we go to dreaming, when we are starting to dream and we go into the paralysis, into the physical body goes into paralysis, and the dreaming body itself then from the top shuts down. It goes, all the chakras shut down, go into the intestinal, into the sacral chakra. And then from there, the dreaming body literally leaves the physical body. So you can look at the dreaming body as a separate body. And it doesn't stay connected like when you have a near-death experience or anything like that. It literally shuts down all the chakras and then leaves the body to go on to its explorations. And this also comes in where Byron was asking, with the different colors of time and everything. So this is where then, when the physical body shuts down, the 7 colors, the 7 chakras in the body that we talk about, which is a limitation in this duality, because our DNA instrument has access to the 50 colors, but not when we are in the duality space, not necessarily. We're up to 8 colors now or something, but when we go into the dreams, the dreaming body itself has access to 50 colors of time. So this is just an opening here. So just chime in. And I would like to leave it on. It's actually quite nice to have it here. But then I don't see you guys. Stop sharing, yeah. So otherwise I miss out when somebody raises the hand. Okay, so that brought us nicely into what he was actually asking about, wanting to talk a little bit more about the colors of time and what any of that. What do you want to add to that? What does that bring up? So the process of dreaming, where the chakras are shutting down.
Say something, Martina?
Yes.
Laura?
Yes, darling.
Hi, guys. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Okay. Sorry, I don't want to disturb you. Just continue and then I will
No, I asked the question, who's got something? So if you have, please do, yeah.
I am faint.
Huh?
Sean says I'm faint. Okay, let's see. I don't know how this works. Is it okay now, Sean? I don't know. Anyways, someone just Sean says he can't hear me. I don't know. Can you hear me?
Quiet, but we can hear you. Just speak up a little bit.
Maybe it's the setting. I don't know. Anyway, so what was I gonna say? Oh yes, the colors of time. Anyway, thank you for this opportunity to clear everyone, because obviously whoever looks at that diagram, we all see something different. We all see something, diverse, which is fantastic. And for me, it's just obviously the I am, which is this is who we are. The Father, Mother, Child is one, and divinity. And when Martina talks about the colors, is when you get to the space, I've been doing a lot of manifesting. I'm all about manifesting and taking actions and creating. And when you get to your dream and you manifest the dream, however, where you like physically, or you write about it, or make food about it, or you write a poem about it, or you do whatever. I actually, within the past month, let's say, I actually had a dream, and I literally, as I woke up, and I have written the dream down, the color, everything. As I went outside, my dream manifested in physical form, in the colors, in physical form. And my experience with the dream is, I don't know if Andrew said, or Martina said, or Laura said, or whoever said, that you can actually change the dream. And I did change the dream with Ho'oponopono, but I did change the dream in a way that it was beneficial for me. And not just for me, but the people. I actually, literally, physically, my dream appeared in front of my eyes. I could not believe it, but it was incredible. It was incredible. And this happened many times now, but I don't want to tell what the dream was, because it doesn't matter. But what Martina said about the colors is interesting, because when I said to Martina that we are on our own, we had a conversation a few weeks ago, what I meant is, when what this diagram tells us, or expresses, for me anyway, means we are on our own, that everything is and starts from within, meaning you are on your own with your dream, with your problems, with your issues, with your whatever it is. And you then create or choose, how would you like to deal with that? And it's up to you. Just like the dreaming, you can change the dream, you can see different colors, you can manifest whatever it is, and today the same thing happened today. But you have to be really focused, you have to be really clear, you have to really take responsibility for you, not for anybody else. That's when then you stop being on your own, as in then people start to appear, or you might start to co-create with someone or collaborate. But the dream is really here to manifest, like I think Andrew was saying in one of the conversations, that you manifest, that you become one with it. But it takes a lot of focus, determination, and really to be clear and to be observant, awaken, and remembering.
Yes.
That's why I think when Martina said, or Laura said, that even if you transcribe, and I don't know who said it, but even if you transcribe something, whether if it's just your own words, you actually manifest.
Okay, so there's another element to that too, and thanks for that, Andrea, and how exciting, that things start to work along those lines for you. There's another way of looking at that is we cannot control the dream time. It very much to a certain extent, yeah. So there's elements you can put your attention and intention forward, and we must also remember that the dreaming body is different. We all have different technologies, all have different dreaming technologies, and we all have different capacities with our bodies, and it's very much lineage dependent. Okay, so sometimes and the main tool for dreaming is actually resolution, karmic resolution. Okay, that's the main dreaming, that's the main capacity of the dreaming body. There was something else which came up when you were talking, Andrea. Yeah, we have to be careful. Yes, we can guide, we can put some guidance through, but we have to be really, really careful. The dreaming body is not going to be controlled. Okay.
Absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah. I just want to say that, you know, so that we get a bit of a balanced view on this one.
I'm absolutely clear on everything. I have absolutely no problem with that. It's what I'm saying is, I think Andrew said, because it was a question for him last time, whether he said when he said that when you do the dreaming and you wake up, and if something happens, you can change it in your dreaming. He said something like this or something along these lines.
So you mean you can carry on the dream, basically?
Carry on, that's the one.
Yes, make the change, absolutely. Yes. Well, this is another quite important thing which I learned actually in that particular show. In particular, it came through quite significantly for me that what's the dreaming we talk about in the theta state? What's that dream state called? Help me out, guys.
It was on the diagram, no? The thinking.
No, we have the delta sleep, the very, very deep one, and then we've got the theta one, and this is where we
gamma.
Lucid. Yeah. So lucid dreaming, you know, this is where we can create changes within the dream space as we're still dreaming. But lucid dreaming is also every visualization. So very much like you say, Andrea, you wake up, you still work with the dream, you stay in the lucid theta state, you still stay in that very relaxed space, and then you can make all your changes from a visualization perspective. So absolutely, that's a really, really big point to look at. You know, lucid dreaming is really just getting into that theta frequency and visualize, so you can work with that. So thanks for that. Laura, you've got your hand up.
Yeah, just going back to what you were saying, Andrea, about you dream and then it happens the next day. I think you were saying, so it's really, it's a premonition dream, isn't it? Which I've had lots of when I've gone to my ancestral places. So my DNA lineage places where I've visited, I get a lot of those premonition dreams. So what I dream at night, I'll just go out the next day and it will happen. So I spoke to Andrew about that, and he said that means you're on the right timeline. So I just think that is a very interesting thing. If you're getting those premonition dreams, then
I know I mean, obviously, I don't want to reveal what it is, but I know exactly why it happened. I know I'm very, very clear. You know, very clear. So it's all good. But the reason I said it, what I said earlier to Martina, that to change or carry on, is because some people can be scared that oh my god, this is going to happen, or you know, something bad, or they dream a nightmare or whatever. But it's possible to change that. I did it. So if it's possible for me, it's possible for anybody, you know, you know, that's why I said it. So people are not fearful, that because it's fear is not real anyway. So
thank you. Good. What else comes up for you guys when we talk about the process, the technology, the, you know, the connection to the past through the Earth's streaming mind? Are there any questions? Are there any contributions? Any examples?
I think you get a lot of help. I think we all know this. You get a lot of help from your 7 past and 7 future generations, from your ancestors through your dreams, which is, for me personally, one reason why I write them down. And it might not mean anything at the time, but when you go back, they give you clues to things, or, you know, they sometimes have fun with you too, which you might have found out. So that's why I think is another good reason to journal your dreams. And
it's a huge source of inspiration, of possibilities, isn't it? Because if we are in the dreaming space, we are totally unlimited, unless we have a program chasing us down the dream, you know, road. And that happens all the time as well, you know.
Yeah.
When nightmare, when you get quickly, you know, kicked out of, or the dreaming body just slams back into the physical body and you wake up like that, and things like that. Absolutely, yeah.
It's where you do all your great work.
You do all your great work there, and it is the place for resolution, for karmic resolution. And I just, you know, Byron was saying, when did we access our first spiritual code of equity? Now, let me just say, what for me a spiritual code of equity is a tool. It's a tool for resolution. Just a little bit like, you know, the dreaming body does it automatically, if you like it or not, you know, if you're in delta sleep, or even if you're in theta, you know, this is your tool. And that's why, you know, Andrew said every other species is so jealous of us to have that tool, to show us that singularity whilst we're still having, you know, the possibility to go back into our daytime dream, which happens in duality. But the spiritual code of equity is a choice almost. And there's not just one or the first one, there is many, many millions. It depends how you, if you open them up, right? And you invite, you know, people, beings, societies, you know, anyone, ancestors into that spiritual code of equity to clear something that you want to clear. And there is no judgment in that spiritual code of equity. There is no hierarchy. There's no competition in that, because that's how you set it up. That's what I understand spiritual code of equity is.
They're there for remedy and resolve.
Yes.
You aren't going to get it in the earthly courts, are you?
Yes. And it's something that you can just, I don't think there is such a thing as there's a first one, you know, it's just a tool. I see it as a tool that Andrew came up with to create that karmic, to help him or help us to resolve our karma in a duality space, where we can logically and consciously put that together. And then, of course, you know, the hub of interconnectivity comes in, and it works on all different levels.
But I think you have to call them in, don't you?
You call them.
I call them in,
Yes.
so that, you know, they're aware and you're aware.
You call
Yeah,
them.
it's a conscious action.
What if, whoops, go ahead.
Done.
I was to say, what if this dream time that we're speaking of, which includes the past, present, nonlinear stuff, what if it's like this whole enigma of the womb that all of us exist in, and that single womb of existence is this dream time field, you know, on all dimensions. And so whatever we can think of or desire is there within that dream time that we can connect to and participate with. And so it was like seeing the whole dream time itself as a spherical moving toroidal force, you know, going from where we are to the north, to the south, coming in, you know. So it's kind of cool because a lot of things that we are saying, like, keep making the weaving bigger and bigger. And it's really cool, the things that everybody's like contributing to, so that the weaving, the tapestry is getting bigger and clearer and more synchronicities, or aware of more synchronicities. And karma, I think too, I just want to throw it in here. I see as an energy banking system. You know, karma involves banking good, banking bad, banking whatever. And when we come to a realization that we're doing it, we can kind of decide whether we like it or not. And when we decide, it just kind of dissipates and it becomes energy to be reused again. So it's a it's a renewable resource, you know.
A transformation, yes, because we
Yeah.
can't destroy energy. You're absolutely right. Well, I see the dream time as the singularity, as the oneness, with full of possibilities, full of opportunities, full of contributions. Everything is available there. The main thing is, and that's the question, is will we remember it when we wake up? You know, and this is why we do so much work in our dream time, but we just can't remember it because there is not enough frequency towards it. By the time we wake up, we've forgotten it. And this is where the practice comes in, and the discipline, I suppose, to write things down. And also, I think there's a big element of trust. It is part of our technology. And we just have to trust that whatever we're doing in dream time is okay. We're doing the right thing. And how do we know when we wake up and we feel like, oh my God, that was cool? You know, and you don't even have to remember the dream necessarily, the details, but you can just feel really good when you wake up, and it gives you that energy of joy that you can take into the duality, into your day. Then you know you've done well. And you just have to trust, because we cannot remember everything. And this is another thing he did say, I remember. When you have a really, really, really cool dream, and you can actually feel, perceive, and smell the things in the dream and everything, this is when you can then bring it back and actually anchor it into the Akashic record. This is when you can start make it manifest here. Right? It's a really intense dream time experience that you then remember, then you actualize it into it, and then you even put it into the Akashic record.
And what if it's part of you learning that you can yourself interact in dream time when you're there, you know, using that skill more, that we can go from this 3D state into the dream state and remember our power and use it there.
Absolutely. And it's also, you know, the acknowledgement and the realization that we are many times do both. We are, you know, having a conversation with people, or walking, especially when you go for a walk, you know, in nature or something, you're connecting to some beauty. Who says you're not actually dreaming at the same time and using your dreaming body to a certain extent? So this is where it then fades a little bit. You don't really, the duality fades out. And this is obviously where we are heading towards, right? All the deja vu's coming up and all of that. And we're starting, you know, where we then just, yeah. What else does that bring up for you guys? Any questions, anything? Where do we want to take this today? It's your show. And it's by...
Lily's put a good question in the chat, Martina.
Oops, I never look at the chat.
You've seen it. Are the 7 past and 7 future generations our past lives? Or what's the difference?
What's the difference between the future and the...
I was just asking, what's the difference between like the connection to your 7 past generations and 7 future, and your connection to your past lives?
Mm-hmm.
And I just wondered what that different relationship was, because to me it feels, in a feeling way, it feels very different. And I just wondered what you could share on that.
So I'm going to kick it off just with briefly what I know is the past generations, the 7 past generations are obviously you in all your past lifetimes, the ancestors of you, everything in your lineages and back. 7 generations back. And why do we say 7 generations? Because it's almost like that's difficult enough to contemplate what that is and to connect to that, but you can obviously go further and further and further and further. You can take 10 generations backwards or something, but the separation of density gets bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger, So, but that's your past lives basically. And then the future generations, we're talking your future lives. Very much like you have prepared, you are your present, your past, present, future now. So the life that you're living right now, you have prepared at some stage in the past. You have, prepared for that. And we can do exactly the same now. And this is where we can go into the South Pole and work with our I ams to create our future lives and meet them there, have a chat with them, and sometimes negotiate. Are you going to go in? Am I going to go in? That sort of stuff. Look, I don't really, I mean, for me, this is also quite an enigmatic. Is that a word? But this is the thing. I mean, this is visualization. Make it yours and see what happens. That type of stuff. But Laura might be having a better explanation. Laura, you got something there?
No, I think that's right. I mean, I would go along with that. I'd also say the reason it's 7 is because that's what we can hold in our living memory, and that's the how the story times and so on that were handed on lasted about 7 generations. It is the way I understood it from Andrew.
Yeah.
But yeah,
the 7
lives have got to go back 7 generations. Sorry, Robin.
I didn't mean to cut you off. I also, they flashed the 7 colors too,
That's
so
different. That's
pardon me?
The 7 colors would be a different thing. The 7 colors is more connected to the chakra system in your physical body.
I was just saying because of the number 7, just 7 in number. That's all.
Right. Okay. I have not heard that connection, but hey, who knows? Absolutely. Yeah. Anyone else got something on that? How do you connect to the 7 past, to the 7 future? Oh, Lily, did that make sense?
I think I had misunderstood it, thinking it was about like grandparents, like your family trees, like in that way, and I thought it was 2 different things, but that makes a lot more sense, so thank you.
Well, it's that too.
It is.
I'm just giving you the bigger picture there, because you are that at the same time, so it is exactly that. Yeah.
Okay, it's just blowing my mind.
You're both. You're your soul family.
In a way, think of it as your roadmap, as your spider web into it. And so there are generations that you keep coming back to the same lineage, or you come back so you get the same skills, or you get the same talents, or so you can think of it as like your I am apex coming back 7 different leaps of space and continuing planning your planning to this point, and then you're leaped ahead another 7 too. So that 7 generations is perhaps a generation of your awareness, not
Yeah, thank you, that's really useful. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Cool. What type of practice do you guys have to connect to your past?
Well, I'm sorry, real quick. Laura, you mentioned something about the 7 past generations, or the 7 that we can perceive in living memory. So you mean that we don't have access to the 8th, which would be kind of like the same as the 7th color, because we can only perceive with a human eye 7 colors and not 8.
Okay, I don't know the correlation to the colors. So, I mean, it sounds like that's computable, but I don't know that relationship. But that's what I learned from Andrew, that the past 7 generations is what we can remember. the way the stories hand down. That's why they do it. He talks about 7 past generations. I mean, I'm sure there's somewhere we can find where he's expanded on that. And I will try and find out for you.
So in our incarnations, we cannot remember anything that's before that 7 generations.
Yeah, yes. Sure we can.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's just a measurement.
It's just a measurement, you know, it's just a very, like, it's a bit like 80-20%. 80% is memory, 20%, you know, of the DNA is that is not set in stone. It's the cookie cutter thing he mentions all the time. Yeah. Some people, I mean, he obviously can go all the way back. I mean, I can't even, you know, go back to 3 generations and remember it consciously, you know what I mean? It's just the ballpark, you know, to look at. So don't get hung up on that, because if you do question that, you obviously have a capacity to go far, far further back. You know what I mean? So don't get hung up on that. But having said all that now, because we're making that connection with the chakras and the the color of time and that, now, of course, there is a connection. I just thought about it, because what does color of time mean? It's awareness. It's the level of awareness, right? So it very much goes with 7, 8, 9 generations or anything. It's not linked to the root chakra or any of that, but it's the level of awareness. The higher, the more awareness we have, the further we can go back, consciously and unconsciously.
A frequency of time that we can perceive, a range of it, just like colors again.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think it's not just the Andrews thing. I mean, I've heard the 7 generations in many other teachings too. That seems to be that ballpark, if that is a word. Yeah. So, but look at all of that. It's just the level of awareness. So color of time means nothing else than awareness, right? So if you're totally in the root chakra, then you don't have an awareness of lots of things around you, because you're literally stuck in survival, right? And all of that, and fear and everything. Now, the higher you go up, the more awareness is being opened up to you. And now with the 8th color of time that's coming in, now that, what is that? It's just showing us that our levels of awareness going even beyond what we have been able to step into before. Yeah, does that make any sense? So yeah, don't get hung up on the 7. Go for 10. I mean, I to it. I understand this or that, but no, I agree with you.
Here, I found some notes on it now.
Okay.
I found some notes on it now. The 7th generation principle,
okay,
taught by Native Americans, says that in every decision, be it personal, governmental, or corporate, we must consider how it will affect our descendants, our 7 generations into the future.
Here we go. Here we go. Just a number. Make it your own. It's just one of those. Cool. So what else comes up there for you? Do you have any questions? Do you want to unpack that a bit more? Do you want to talk about, you know, does anyone have any particular ways of connecting? Does anybody want to share their ceremonial, ritual, or sacred way of connecting to the ancestors? Or does anyone have any particular experiences to share by connecting to the ancestors, past or future, through dreamtime? For instance, you know, I had a dream a couple of months ago where I remember going into a big, it wasn't a tunnel, but it was a place, and it had lots and lots of different rooms. And as I walked in the first room, everyone was, yeah, you know, and I'm like, oh, this is cool. I like that. Yeah, you know, and I carried on walking through the next door and the next door. And then the last room was basically, everybody was slightly more reserved when I walked in, you know. And I thought, so what is that? You know, and what I was actually doing, I was connecting to Hollow Earth, because Hollow Earth is the dreamtime reality of the Earth that is in Hollow Earth. And I have a strong connection to Hollow Earth. So when I was in my dream, I was walking through the various rooms, connecting to my ancestors, past and future, as I was walking through. It's one of those experiences, you know.
It reminds me of a dream I had twice, going into this very large, it seemed like a resort that you go to in the summertime, you know, to enjoy the outdoors, and lots of people would be there. And walking through it, you know, looking at different rooms and stuff, it was like all of a sudden it ended, but I had a realization, and I thought many times I wanted to remember that dream again. And one day you were talking on one of the shows, and what you were saying replayed that dream for me. And I had just rehabbed the dream recently where it was updated and the people weren't all, you know, they were all interacting. And just now you did it again and it popped in. So it's very interesting. So it was, I don't know where I was going because I got lost in the twice now with you. I've had a, yeah.
And that's really cool.
And both were in dream time. Sorry.
And those are the synchronicities, isn't it? How, you know, and it can come, somebody says something, or you read something, or you overhear a conversation with somebody, and it's like, oh, it triggers something. And that's a word that keeps pondering in your head. And those are the things that you want to look at. When there is something that keeps on coming back to you, you know, just look at that. And see, what is that? Is there a message in it for you? Is there something for you to work with? Are you fried? No. Okay. So I don't know. I think we explored that a little bit. It would probably be easier to have the man with us to understand what more he wants to talk about. But from what we can talk a little bit more about, we talked about the womb space. We talked about the womb planning already. Oh, Amy's got her hand up. Amy, what you got?
Hello. My internet's horrible, guys. So I was getting very choppy conversation. So I hope, so the question I had was, what about time in dream time? Like, and I don't even know where to go with this, but does it speed up? Does it slow down? Does it hold like its own little bubble when you're there?
When you go into dream time, you step out of time. You step into that space where, as we said early on, you got the 50 colors of experience available to you, and you basically go into that space of no time.
And can we bring that, well, we can bring it back to here, I guess, right? Not have that fraud time here. It would take practice.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And Amy, that's when I say we're stepping out of duality. Yes, Alan, we're stepping out of duality, because duality, what is duality? Duality is space and time. Finite I am, right? Time stamping. When we go into the dreaming body steps out of time, out of space. It can go anywhere. It can go, and you know, we were talking as well the other day, weren't we? There is not just one space. You can have not just one dreaming body. You can have many, many. It's like we can make our own I am, and send our, you know, parts of ourselves, when we do it from a conscious perspective, you know, we can send them to the different places. Now the dreaming body can do that too. And you don't need a double dreaming body for that. you know, can go to all these different places and interact with all these different dreamtime societies at the same time, because there is no time.
So can our dreaming body come in here, the 3D body? I guess what I'm thinking of is like not an exchange, but does it teach us things? We teach the dreaming body things, and the dreaming body teaches us to bring back. Do we make that exchange with each other?
Well, absolutely. The dreaming body, this is why we talked about it as a technology. Our DNA instrument is technology. And part of that technology is the dreaming body. Now, the mechanism of the dreaming body is obviously the chakras, you know, shutting down, and then the dreaming body literally leaving. When we say leaving, doesn't mean that we are all of a sudden getting disconnected. It actually means the dreaming body is, hold on, I'm just going to mute iPhone here. The dreaming body is going on to the explorations and creating resolution, karmic resolution. So the dreaming body is part of the technology that we are. It's working with us. And that's why it's really important that we let go of all the programs, that we clear out the vagus nerve, because every program that we're running in a polarity state, in the awake state, is probably also impacting on our dreaming experience.
So would that have anything to do with sovereignty?
Absolutely, yes.
Here. So that's why when we prepare our dream time, because we need to have that sovereign space in dream time.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So sovereignty and self-mastery, the more you are working on these subject matters in this reality, in this duality, the better your dreaming will become, the better your remembering of the dreaming will become, the better your connection with the dreaming body. Look at it as I mean, we're all one, really. You don't want to go into separation or anything, but you could look at it from that perspective. Just purely, it's nice to sometimes separate, just to look at it from a different perspective. Even have a conversation with your dreaming body if you want to. Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah.
Very good point. But then, there are dreaming bodies that do have their own minds, because it's just like the soul sometimes, or the body thinks it's the soul, because of the program that we're running. If we're lacking that self-mastery and sovereignty practice and teaching, we can't just rely on everything's gonna be okay and the dream body will sort it out. No, there is self-mastery that is required to really cultivate a healthy dreaming body, just like a healthy physical body.
Yeah, and I have to say that when I do have my dream time ritual that I do, this body sometimes says, "Oh, I'm too tired. I don't feel like doing it." But it's like I override it because I know that I need to have that when I'm going into dream time.
Well, yeah, it's probably an internal program telling you a bit of a fibs, saying, "Are you too tired?" No, really? Am I that?
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah. Good. So Alan is saying, whatever that was, do you want to share the illustration you shared? I shared an illustration. This one, I don't have a copy of it now. I shared that on the hub, and that I made that from a place of, so it's a bit similar to what Byron came up with. I did that, I think, when I did the show with Andrew last year on the agencies, because it was quite a lot of information. And so how can we use that information? Alan, have you got any question? Have you looked at it? You got any questions on it? No. So you're just throwing me in the deep end here. Okay. I appreciate it. No, so what I looked at, and again, so let's do a little overview. So, and the vagus nerve, I love the vagus nerve, okay? Because the vagus nerve is really a cool dude. It's really a connector, a consciousness connector. consciousness awareness connector. It connects the I am, the physical DNA, obviously through, because it's a nerve, a physical nerve, all the way down, as we said, and it connects the consciousness to the past generations. Let's not call it 7, let's call it whatever, just past generations, and the future generation. No, we don't want to limit. I am fully with you there. Okay. So now, when we have a lot of internal programs, and what is an internal program? It's basically trauma, habitual patterns, belief systems that keep us in a certain, in habitual, places that actually do not serve us anymore. When we have a lot of that, we probably have a lack of self-mastery to a certain extent that clutters up that vagus nerve. And it's interesting, the vagus nerve, every negative thought that you have throws the vagus nerve out. Okay, so it's not just hugely traumatic experiences. Every negative thought that you have throws the vagus nerve out. I have done a revocation on that, or meditation rather, on the vagus nerve, because I read the books. I can't remember what the book was called. But in order to reinstate your vagus nerve and come back into the present moment and start cutting out some of the programs, a very simple thing. You interlace your hands in the back. We can do it together. You take it back at the brainstem here. So interlace, so you can feel there. Yeah, here we go. Now the head stays completely still. You can keep your eyes open or you can close them. Head stays still. Let's take the eyes over to the left. Everything stays still. Just push the eyes over, and it might be a bit uncomfortable. Don't overstrain yourself. Just keep breathing as you do that. And you may want to hold it maybe up to 60 seconds or something, and then you take it back into the middle. Take it over to the other side. And that's all it is, guys. That can bring the vagus nerve back into balance, into harmony. And if you do this on a daily basis, lots of people do that daily, and it makes a real difference, especially when you feel it's like it's painful. Then you may want to take it easy in the beginning. Don't hold it for too long. Don't overdo it and all of that. And also lying down is a bit better. If people have like shoulders that are quite stiff or anything, it's easier to lie down with that. Yeah. But there is a meditation. I think the meditation, we've got it on the Earth Nouveau as well. So where, I guide you through that meditation. Thanks. Yeah. No, it's a really good one. I was actually doing the other day, because you keep forgetting there's so much out there, right? And you feel like shit. And as soon as you do that, it's actually quite interesting. You come back quite nicely. It takes you back into the present moment. So vagus nerve, yeah, very, very powerful. And you may have a couple of yawns, yawning is always a good, what's the word? It shows you that stuff is happening. Energies are changing, So the vagus nerve connects, as we said, to the South Pole, to the North Pole. As Tanya told us, South Pole, Earth Star chakra, which is very nice, and then North Pole up. Doesn't really matter. It's just really to keep us in the visualization when you do a visualization. So what have I written down there? Schumann resonance obviously is also that impacts the vagus nerve. I mean, lots of us are having all sorts of interesting experience at the moment, right? Be it now in the dream time, that we have disruptive dreams. Some people have, like myself, a lot of intensity in the body, a lot of muscle joint pain and stuff like that. I love to call it Ascension Symptoms. I know AB says it's crap, but I like it. It's the energy is coming in and just pushing through, and I can feel it gets better when the full moon's over, and stuff like that. And also it's an invitation to move. Remind yourself when when you're in pain, when you got these intensities, start moving. I mean, literally. And also, I teach yoga, and the yoga that I teach at the moment is quite dynamic. Yeah, it doesn't have to be fancy or anything, or but dynamic movements, back, forth, up, down. Even if you do jumping jacks, stuff like that. The walking itself, just gentle walking, doesn't do it. It's the body needs to let go of that energy, And also the same goes with information. I mean, you guys are all very interested in stuff, right? So, I mean, how much time do we spend listening to AB stuff, listening to other stuff, and it's all that information that is coming into the body that needs to find an outlet. Part of the reason why we're doing this is that we have an opportunity to express the information. Yeah. This is not ego. This is knowing that we need to, it needs to come out. Yes. When you have a little bit of that teacher in you and student in you as well, it needs to come out. It's a bit like food. Compare it to food. I wrote a blog, I think, on my website about this. Food and information is the same thing. It needs to be digested. And there we are back at the dreaming body, right? Because dreaming body lives in the digestive system. So there's a lot of information that obviously coming in through the dreaming. So sometimes the digestive tract is overloaded because there is too much dream trash in it, right? So there is a huge connection for elimination. The importance of all of that is because it's not just about food, it's about information that needs to get through the system, activating the third eye all the way down into the fourth eye, and stuff like, it's almost like a gratitude, a gratitude moment when you eliminate. It's like, yes. You're letting go of the dream trash. You're letting go of information that you don't need anymore, of the energies that are coming in that you are perceiving, because, we've gone beyond empathy. I appreciate that, but we're still fucking telepathic, right? We can perceive the pain. Doesn't mean that we are entangling with it, but sometimes you get so much, like you have to push it through. And by pushing it through, you're not entangling with it. You can be that observer. Right? But also, let me just finish the one sentence. The more awareness we have, the more information is coming at us. This is why the self-mastery is so important. Awareness is not for pussies. No, it's not going to go away. You have to be more and more, getting efficient, with that self-mastery, pulling it, let it go through. Use your visualization. Energy comes in, comes out, flows through, and all of that. Robin.
Jumping right on board with what you're saying, it's a great jump off, because one of the things that I have been instructed by Spirit for quite a few years and have been trying to set it up is to bring forth systems or exposure experiences to groups so that people can experience it and move that energy that you're talking about, tap into that self, tap into and move it, but learn how to do it so that it's something that you take with you. It's an experience then you have control over, and you can use it at any time. And that's exactly one of the things that in real life is like such a phenomenal thing, because when you have people moving and you have, total strangers, and you put some music in it and then put an invitation into it, people will come like magnets because they want to join that moving. Music is like cursive. It flows, and people are drawn to that. And so right now, this is wonderful, because this is what I'm being pushed to do, is to share it on a level where it's a participation level, and even though each one of you may be in your own place around the world, you will do it at the same time in your location so that you benefit not only from the unity of a group, but your own, you know, abilities and understandings. So anyway, yahoo! Thank you.
Yeah, music doesn't judge.
No.
It just reminds you of the sound that we're all made of, because what is energy? Sound, light, right? And it just connects. You know, all different music, obviously, you know, depending on the type of mood you're in and everything, but absolutely, yeah. Yeah. So Alan left. Okay. So he makes me do all that and then he pisses off. That's great. So yes. So I am apex finite time-space equation, right? This is where we time stamping and everything. Infinite is where we're outside of time. You've heard us talk about the sea of consciousness and the ocean of awareness, collective, you know, and all of that. So it's a really nice metaphor, actually. The sea of consciousness still has time space in it. And the ocean of awareness is then when you step outside. This is where the celestial medium comes in. And of course, you know, we are everything at the same time, just like we are past, present, and future. We are chemical memories. We've got light memories. We've got all of that. So the journey is from light memory into chemical memory, back into light memory, and all of that.
Or the transition.
Yeah.
Just a transition, just switch from going from electric to magnetic. You know, it's in your real self bigger than this. It understands it's you know, a slight.
Yeah. And for what? The whole purpose of being in this galactic ascension machine, this is where we're in, right? Galactic ascension machine, we all know that too, is about resolving karma. And it's not just us here on Earth, it's obviously all the 66 planets. They're all in that machine. We're all in that machine together. And that leads us back to universal citizenship. We are the school of hard knocks, right? And as we are getting through those hard knocks, right? Learning all our lessons, we then become those celestial beings, those universal citizens that will go out like we've done before, a couple of million years ago, and again, you know, in the meantime, going back out, but we're going to take our bodies with us. We're going to be conscious about that, what we're going to do. We're going to go to the different planets. We're going to help people, you know, with all sorts of things, whatever AB is talking about. You know, you've heard it say, help people having babies again, and, you know, teaching them about interaction, relationships and everything. And see, this is the other thing. This is our gift here as humans, to have emotions. It's really cool to have emotions. So next time you're angry or sad or something, it's amazing. The other species don't have that. They are actually jealous that they don't have that. So we need to enjoy being angry. Yes, next time enjoy it. And stuff like that. So, and then of course, in this time-space equation which we're in, the main thing is that we are having the mind, the heart, the gut work together. This is what we're here for. To really help us to harmonize all of that through the vagus nerve, through the clearing of all the programs and stuff like that. Basically getting rid of the conditioning, getting rid of all the crap that we've been told, we believed in, we bought the lies, and now we're just going to untangle from that again. So we can actually become a very healthy entangled observer, and at the same time be the unentangled observer, and really understanding what that means. So outside of that, consciousness outside of time, the pre-I am, that would basically be the planning in the womb, which is again, Byron mentioned there. So everything outside of time is the planning, where we're putting all the contracts together before we come into the womb. This is where the agencies come in, and the agencies are obviously they're helping us to match the soul families and to get us into contracts that are required for us in this lifetime. And it might not be necessarily positive, you know, experiences that we are already contracting out there. It's just something we need to do in order to grow and to learn and to move on and to resolve all the karma. And this is where judgment comes in. We have to stop judging. Judgment keeps us in that hamster wheel. Have to come out of judgment. And also, it's almost like, you know, we're getting to a stage where, you know, we don't judge others maybe so much anymore, but we mustn't judge ourselves either. You know? So everything is just a choice. Keep yourself in choice. This is that journey we are on here, from challenge to choice. And we probably, none of us has actually learned what choice really means as a child. And this is now really the journey for us to learn to choose for us and as us. And that can be tough because it might mean that you have to make choices that no one else really gets, not even yourself at times. But it just feels right. Comes from the heart, but not just from the heart, it comes from the mind, heart, and the gut. That connection. So often when I do yoga, in the end, we do shavasana, or during the session, we just drop the mind into the heart into the gut. And it's literally a visualization, or you just say it. Just don't judge it. I'm sure they all think I'm crazy, but you know, I don't care. So fetus in the womb, puberty, what else? DNA, yeah, we know 80-20%, we know that 80% memory, 20% is all about the contracts, the frequency, the vibration, and all of that. So I think this is all. Yeah, I don't want to go more into this, but you know, because I'm talking a little bit too much here. So does any of that bring something up for you guys? Are you still awake, or have I already talked you into the ground here?
I think I like what you're saying about memory, right? The memory of, I thought what Sean texted earlier was interesting, that the animals live in dream time, and that it seems like memory lives in dream time too, right? That we can move that, you know, 80% memory DNA back and forth, you know, into the dream time. And I work a lot with crystals and gemstones, and I feel like the gemstones, like the animals, can go back and forth in the dream time space also, that they can hold that space for our dreaming bodies and our awake bodies, and help us make that transition, you know, in and out of that energetic space.
I really like what you said, the memories live in dream time. That's a nice thing to look at, because dream time is singularity, right? So memories are available, just like we said, possibilities, opportunities, and all of that. And memories, I didn't mention that, you're absolutely right. The memories actually are available in that singularity, because everything is a memory. Now, it's very interesting. Just look at that energetically. Since the last show, we've done awakening and memory, and I never really looked at the energy of memories a lot, but I really, it's nice you mentioned that, because let's say you have a goal, yeah, the old way of goal setting and everything, and you put something a week ahead, or, you know, so just think of something right now that you have been planning, or you have a goal for that you're going to do in a week's time or a month's time or whatever, yeah. And then turn that goal into a memory. And how does that change the energy? Because if it is really a memory, if everything is sort of predestined, including the free will and the changes that we can still create, it's available already in that spider's web, right? It's all available there. And all you need to do is remember it. Doesn't that take a load off your shoulders? Because this is the thing about creation. You don't actually create anything. You just need to remember it. Just
Wonderful.
play with that, guys. And thanks for mentioning that, because I had that realization last week, because I was thinking, oh, I want to do this and that. I think, I think, no, actually, it's just a memory, right? Like, oh, yeah, it's just a memory. Different energy. So from now on, we're not creating anything. Let's just remember. It's all there already. Doesn't take the responsibility that we have to take for our awareness away, but it also, we need to look at what responsibility shouldn't be heavy. Responsibility has no weight to it. It's an ability to respond, an ability to remember. So let's call it rememberability. Much better, right? Because people get bogged down with this responsibility stuff. We understand what it means, but take the weight away and just rememberability. Yeah. Thanks for mentioning that, Tanya. It's right.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah. Holds the memories. What did you say? Memory lives in dreamtime. Like it. Rememberability, yes.
Responsibility.
Can I just something about the gut? Remember you said the gut?
Yes.
Yeah. I just wanted to say, want to add to that there are certain meals or foods or whatever we put in our body that are that enabling us to actually create clarity in the gut, because we always say, oh, my gut feeling was this, but I went with that, so like you say, that we already kind of aware of some things, but we could be scared to make a decision or go that way or go that way. And when we do the clearing, which I do with Ho'oponopono, which is 100% responsibility, obviously it's not the same concept of what you talk about. It's obviously we don't know nothing, but we were born with zero, with nothing. And we put so much shit on it, like Martina said, dream shit, or what she said, I can't remember how she expressed it.
Trash, dream trash.
There you go. So we were nothing. We were beautiful beings, all of us, divine love, yeah? So we put the trash on it, so we don't remember anything. We don't know anything. But then when we start take 100% responsibility, which means which this gentleman wrote, or the diagram, meaning I am, mother, father, child is one, and the divine self, that's when inspiration start to flow. That's when we start to be in the flow, hence our gut. It start to cleanse and more and more and create in the dream time or this time or that time or journeys or no journeys. So it's I've been using this facilitation with the food to actually clear the gut, whether it is distantly or whether it is actually physically. So it is very important, because many times people know, or people are remembering or are aware what to eat, but they chose different. And I would like to recommend, if it's a like a classic romance film, but there's a film called The Choice, and it's like a romantic film, but the concept is very good there. If you have a chance to watch it, because even there it says every choice you take, whether you go to the left or to the right, is gonna create something. But at the end, right at the end, I mean, I'm not gonna tell you what's the thing, but it all comes back to love, which is loving the self. But I would recommend you to watch that film because it talks about the choice, and it might give you a reflection or a perspective or some inspiration that you can
Fabulous.
apply
Yeah.
to your life. Sorry?
Is it on Netflix or is
I
it
think
on?
it's on Netflix. Let me just have a look. It's called The Choice. Let me quickly have a look. I mean, it's a romantic film, but it has a very so that's after it has a very good let's see, choice.
Can
It's
all
called
do
the Choice. The Choice.
the
The
choice.
Choice.
All right.
The
Fabulous.
Choice. Yeah. So I don't know whether you've seen it, but it has a good, you know,
We all need a bit of romance. I'm on it.
it's a little bit of romance, you know. Why not? Why not? So it has a good um, message to it right at the end, and also it says never give up, keep going, keep going, keep going.
Thank you. Thank you very much. And you brought up, of course, a very important point, which is food. You know, we have, and he picked me up on that because, you know, if we have a bad relationship or not a great relationship to food, then of course the digestive system is going to impact whatever you can eat. Food impact badly on how the information, how the food gets processed and everything. So, and of course it all comes back to the dreaming body, comes back to that
It's not
process.
even that, Martina, but now I learned that more and more and more, the more I'm doing my thing, that it actually communicates on such a deep level. And I created something. I'm not ready to, I will post about it, but I've created something, and I always look up what's in this certain food, and I gave it to somebody, two people, and as always, you know, I created the moment, and it was exactly for that, and they didn't even know, but it helped them, it healed them. And you can do that in a way that it not only benefits them, but their life, their actions, their whatever it is. But it goes such a deep level, and it's all about clearing out, clearing out, clearing out. So they didn't even know. I told them afterwards, and they said,
Yeah.
"Oh wow, that's incredible," but you know, it's, I don't like to tell people because they have expectations, and then everything goes just blah.
Yeah.
So but it does, and like when I went to this Bluebell woods, I found these woods. It wasn't even just the woods, but it was like more than in a movie. And I just inhaled and exhaled, and the aroma, the thing that was there, the energy, it healed my body, my mind, my artery, everything. Oh my God, it
Mhm.
was unbelievable. I have never seen anything like it. It was
So
such a
there's another.
frequency.
Thanks, Andrea. So there's another invitation to really work with your senses and obviously, you know, become aware of all the possibilities out there, connecting to nature, connecting to smells and everything, because, you know, all the five senses together make that sixth sense, the intuition sense. So really, and if you have, I mean, I've actually, smelling has never been my big thing, but I find myself smelling more now. So if you have a sense that you're not using, you might want to play with that and use it a bit more. You know, don't neglect any of that. Just like Andrea said, now, you know, smelling, eating, you know, tasting, and all of that. It's all part of the healing.
And what will happen to you guys, you will notice that you might get more irritated to certain smells
Mm,
that you have never been before, and you might drink or eat certain things that you hated before. So it can flip.
yeah, change
But
it.
because you flip your mind, you flip your energy. So anything that you thought was bad, it suddenly becomes good because it's good for your body, good for your environment, or that is the tool for you, for example.
Karmic resolution. Okay, we've had already a couple of peeps leaving because we're going over time again, but I would like to do one more thing before I'm going to let you go, because we have been talking about dream time. So just imagine, close your eyes for a moment there, and just imagine your dreaming body. What does it look like? And again, this is not about separation, okay? But just to play with that a little bit. What does your dreaming body look like? And in what sort of environment, when you just ask right now, what sort of environment does it find itself in? So is it in a field? Is it in a house? Is it, you know? And then I want you to look around. What's around you? Look to the front. Look to the back. Left, right. Just get a sense of your dreaming body. Feeling the connection to the dreaming body, the environment. And then think of one thing your dreaming body has been dreaming that is still in your mind, that's still running in your mind. You need some clarification on it. If you can, bring that up. If not, just make it up. Because who makes it up? You. And as you bring that up, just have a look if anything changes in your environment. And again, look to the front, look to the back, left, right. Now what I want you to do, I want you to take one step to the front. And as you do that, just get a sense of how the environment changes. Does it feel comfortable or uncomfortable? You take that one step ahead of you. Do you get more clarity on whatever you were seeking clarity for? And then step back to where you were before. Now take a step back. Sometimes it's good to take a step back and see what happens to the clarity. What happens to the environment? How does it change? Does it change? And then again, step back into the place where you found yourself in the first place. We're going to take a step to the left now. See what's left for you to do or not to do. What you've left for a long time. How does the environment change? What's happening to the clarity? Stepping back, place of our origin. Now take a step to the right. The right step is not necessarily always the right thing to do. Just to see how the environment changes. What happens to that issue you needed clarity on? Good, and then step back. And then open your eyes. Now, who found that easy? Who found a real difference in the various directions you stepped into? Sean, do you want to share? So this is an exercise you can use. Whatever comes up for you, be that night a dream time, be that now a program, anything you would like to change. Look at the internal representation first. And someone mentioned before taking a step. Now look at the significance of taking a step. But also look at the significance of taking the step in the right direction or the left direction. Sometimes take a step back before you run forward. It can be quite uncomfortable to do that, but it's a very powerful tool to have. And because once you stepped into a certain direction and the environment changes, you don't have to step back, obviously. Try out the directions. Whichever gives you the most clarity, the most ease, the most joy, the most whatever you're looking for. And it's quite amazing how the focus, the perspective changes by just taking that one step. We're not going to put Sean on the spot here now. I'm going to let you go with that. And I really enjoyed having you here. Thanks for being here. And we see you next week.
Bye.
Thank you, Martina.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye, everyone. Thanks.